Hello, I'm Seferino, School of Light Ministries. Read through the Bible. We are in book of Kings, 2 Kings, chapter 14. And if you need some Bible study, free correspondence materials, let me know. That's what we're here for. In the second year of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother's name was Jehoadin. She was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, but not as his father David had done. In everything he followed the example of his father Joash. The high places, however, were not removed. The people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. After the kingdom was firmly in his grasp, he executed the officials who had murdered his father the king. Yet he did not put the sons of the assassins to death in accordance with what is written in the book of the law of Moses, where the Lord commanded, "Fathers shall not be put to death for their children's, nor children put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sins." He was the one who defeated 10,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt and captured Selah in battle, calling it Joktheel, the name it has to this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, king of Israel, with a challenge: "Come meet me face to face." But Joash, king of Israel, replied to Amaziah, the king of Judah, "A thistle in Lebanon sent a message to a cedar in Lebanon. Give your daughter to my son in marriage." Then a wild beast in Lebanon came along and trampled the thistle underfoot. You have indeed defeated Edom, and now you are arrogant. Glory in your victory, but stay at home. Why ask for trouble and cause your own downfall and that of Judah also? Wow, good one, strong one. Amaziah, however, would not listen to Jehoash, king of Israel, attacked. He and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced each other at Beth Shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed by Israel, and every man fled to his home. Jehoash, king of Israel, captured Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh. Then Jehoash went to Jerusalem and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate, a section of about 600 feet long. He took all the gold and silver and all the articles found in the temple of the Lord and in the treasuries of the royal palace. He also took hostages and returned to Samaria. As for the other events of the reign of Joash, what he had done and his achievements, including this war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Jehoash rested with his fathers and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam, his son, succeeded him as king. Amaziah, king of Joash, king of Judah, lived for 15 years after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. As for the other events of Amaziah's reign, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? They conspired against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent men after him to Lachish and killed him there. He was brought back by horse and was buried in Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. Then all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in place of his father Amaziah. He was the one who rebuilt Elath and restored it to Judah after Amaziah rested with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, son of Joash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria, and he reigned 41 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. He was the one who restored the boundaries of Israel from Lebo Hamath to the sea of Arabah, in accordance with the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, spoken through his servant Jonah, son of Amittai, the prophet from Gath Hepher. The Lord had seen how bitterly everyone in Israel, whether slave or free, was suffering. There was no one able to help them. And since the Lord had not said he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam, the son of Joash. As for the other events of Jeroboam's reign, all he did and his military achievements, including how he recovered for Israel both Damascus and Hamath, which belonged to Yahweh, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? Jeroboam rested with his fathers, the king of Israel, and Zechariah, his son, succeeded him as king. Oh man, I want to find this book of the kings of Israel, and I want to find this book of the kings of Judah, and read about these achievements and the exploits. What is the thing that stands out the most to me? Fathers should not be put to death for their children, nor children put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sins. Very just, right? You know, you don't want to have a kid that does males, as they say in Spanish, or mal in Latin, and then you get punished for it. One example was my mom, and I have a certain brother that like, if God were to punish the parent, my parents would be punished really heavy. And it's good to know that that person is going to pay for their own. And also, if you're on the kid's side and you have a horrible father or mother, that you won't pay for theirs, but you kind of do, because they raised you, and you get a lot of their habits. And in this culture nowadays, it's you pick up a lot of the psychological anxiety problems and things like that. Oh Lord, help us. In First Psalms, in the First Psalms, it says, "Blessed is he who does not walk in the way of the wicked, stand in the way of sinners, or sits in the seat of mockers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on God's law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree that's planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in due season, whose leaves never wither. Whatever he does prospers." Not so for the wicked, for they are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assemblies of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. The strongest part on that psalm is, to me, in regards to what I do with reading this, is meditate on God's law day and night. So whatever it is in this, meditate on it, focus on it, maybe even write it down to help you focus on it, and meditate on it. That's it. God bless.